Hello, lovely yogi friend, and well done for joining me for this practice. So we're going to be practicing some yin yoga, which is really all about the Vata Dosha. And Vata Dosha is associated with the element of air. So as we transition seasons, especially from the fall into the winter, it's considered a Vata season. And that's really because the presence really of air is much more obvious. And it's also associated with the sense of that air drying, actually the drying effect. So we have to attend to our body in a slightly different way and look after our joints and allow ourselves really or even give ourselves permission to calm and soothe our nervous system. And when we calm and soothe the nervous system, we give ourselves permission really to alleviate any stress, any anxiety, and any fear that we might be living with. So we arrive into our practice with the intention of soothing our nervous system. So our practice will start here with us seated, and I am sitting on a blanket. So if you need to sit on something a little higher, just have the hips a little higher, that's a good place to have your hips a little higher than your knees so that we can sit without distraction. And then we're going to start actually with a little bit of movement. So we're going to turn the palms up and out and then turn the hands round as much as we can. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Lovely. Inhaling. Feel how that feels through the arms, through the wrists, and exhale. Might even travel up into your heart. Inhaling, turning the palms away, and then exhaling. Lovely. One more inhale and exhale. Nice. And then release, taking your left arm in front, encouraging your fingers back towards you, keeping the arm at shoulder height, and then release. So this is really pulling on that meridian line that runs through the yin side of our arms. We'll do that on the right side now, and then release. And then we're going to tuck our hands underneath us. So underneath the shoulders, and we have the backs of the hands. Now that can feel quite intense. So just doing the best you can, breathing, sitting nice and tall. This is an amazing practice actually for your wrists, and perhaps something you could do every single day of the week, just even for a few moments. We don't need to be sitting on our mat for that. We can do it wherever we are. Little movement of your head from side to side. Lovely. And then release. And you might feel the tenderness that's required to move again and place your hands on your knees and allow that to settle back down again, just like we do for any other yin shape. Just a few moments. Lovely. And then we're going to come into a seated version of swan pose. So I'm going to turn around. And what I would recommend actually, just because it's just slightly different, is we're actually going to sit on something that's a little higher. So I'm going to scooch a little here, bring my hips up onto this blanket, and then hands behind. And we're going to start with the right foot on top of the left knee. So this is where we have to play a little. Depends how far forward your left foot feels comfortable. So the guide, the area that we're exploring here is the right hip. And we want to be able to lift the chest and then relax into something that feels like it has an edge, it has a little bit of interest, but then we can close our eyes and come into our breath and release. So smoothness with the breath. And if you like using a mantra in your practice, a really good one for this practice, as we kind of invite the in-breath in, we want to feel that the inhalation inspires us. And as we feel the exhalation reminds us to surrender. So following that, inhaling, the inhale inspires us. And exhaling, may the exhalation remind me to surrender. May the inhalation inspire me. May the exhalation remind me to surrender. Following your breath, being with that mantra, noticing how it feels. Lovely. And then one more deep breath in. Exhaling, nice long smooth breath out. And then releasing your right foot to the earth. And we're going to come onto our back because that's quite intense for the arms and the wrists as well, so they get a little break. But we're going to have our body on this blanket still, a little lift. And then just make sure your feet are a good mat width apart so that you can feel the outside edges of your mat underneath your feet. And now we're going to let both legs come over to the right. Windshield wiper legs, we call these. And then we're going to take that right foot on top of the left knee. So it should feel kind of interesting around the outside of the left hip. And then arms just out to the side, relaxing your arms. And again, coming back to your breath. May the inhalation inspire me. May the exhalation remind me to surrender. Just noticing if anything's changing. Can you soften? Can you relax a little bit deeper? Are you holding on? It's all about creating that awareness and then letting the body be held by the earth so that we can surrender. Lovely. So beginning to take a nice deep breath in now. And then a long, smooth breath out. As we inhale, we release that right foot back down to the earth and then draw the legs back up to the center, nice and slowly, taking your time, little movement by little movement. Being fragile, coming out of shapes tends to be really part of the experience of being in a yin shape. Even if we've relaxed and we're letting go, and we're not forcing, having been in that shape for quite some time, the body needs us to move very slowly to come back up. That's an essential part of the practice. Not being in a hurry. Lovely. So let's make our way back up to sit. So you might want to roll over to one side, seeing as we have that prop underneath us, and then come up, hands behind us. And now we take our left ankle to the top of the right knee. And again, we're making space for that left hip. So just play a little with where the right foot needs to be, whether it needs to be further away, can it be closer in? How does it feel into that left hip? A little lift of the heart. And yes, we're kind of pushing down on the hands a little here, so it is interesting for the wrists, but it adds to that little lift and us discovering gravity. Gravity is all part of yin yoga. So just finding a space where you can breathe. And remind ourselves that we're attending to our hips, looking after the connective tissues that are in and around our hips. Attending to our energy, noticing the earth underneath us, and then that connection with the breath takes us to ideas that come up into our minds. And perhaps creating that mantra for yourself again. May the inhalation inspire me. If you think that we're drawing the air in, circulating it around the body. And may the exhalation remind me to surrender. Lovely. Taking a nice deep breath in now. And as you exhale, straighten that right leg out, release the left foot coming up. Just feel how the arms feel after all that time being of use, holding us up. And then we're going to come onto our back again. So our backs are a little lifted with the extra blanket. Feet are nice and wide so we can feel the outside edge of the mat. And now we're going to take the legs over to the left, like windshield wipers, just over to the left. So the right hip lifts up a little now. And we're going to take the left foot on top of the right knee. So that's quite a challenge. It's quite heavy, especially if we can release and let go of that leg. You know, our legs are heavy. The femur bone in our thigh bone is heavy. So we're adding in that extra weight. So just try and make it nice and long through the right side of the body. There's no pinching. Make it right for you. And then if you can, turn your arms up so that the palms of the hands are facing up towards the sky. And then be, again, back with your breath. Allow yourself to be here. Allow yourself to relax and release and let go. Allow yourself to be held. Lovely. So beginning now to take a nice deep breath in. Nice long smooth breath out. And then slowly releasing the left foot to the floor. And again, gently lifting the legs back up, taking your time. Just noticing if it feels fragile or a sense of vulnerability that can also be present when we come back up out of shapes and we don't quite realize we've gone so deep. So just relaxing now in a nice straight line with the soles of the feet on the earth and the knees pointing up towards the sky. Let everything settle back down again. And from here, we're going to use this blanket underneath us. You might need to move it a little lower down. We're going to roll it in so that our hips are now ever so slightly higher than they were a moment ago, and bring the knees in towards us. So just make sure you have that good support underneath your lower back. And we're going to straighten the legs up towards the sky. Now the legs are hip width apart. And we want to find an easy place here. So the knees are slightly bent and we want to find somewhere where the legs just kind of feel like they're hanging in space. And let's move the feet around in circles in one direction and then the other. Flexing the feet, pointing the toes, flexing the feet. Another circle. Pointing the toes. And another circle. Nice. Relaxing the legs as much as you can. Feeling the energy. Nice. Slowly now beginning to bend your knees in towards your body. Let the feet come back down towards the earth. And we're going to push the blanket away from us now. So we're going to take that blanket so it comes underneath our knees. So you might need to come up and slide it down a little further. Relax your arms out to the side. Relaxing into Shavasana. Maybe placing a blanket over the top. Being nice and warm. Being held, being supported. Allow the energy to settle back down through the entire body. Really relaxing your hips, softening the legs. Feeling your shoulders melting into the earth. Relaxing your face and your jaw. Lovely. So beginning to take a nice deep breath in now. Nice long smooth breath out. Drawing your legs together, lifting your arms up over your head, giving yourself a nice stretch. And then drawing your knees in towards you, giving your knees a nice big hug. Rolling over onto your left side, curled into a ball. And then pressing into the earth with your right hand to make your way back up to sit. And you might like to sit on something that the hips are a little higher. And perhaps consider all the projects that are going to be filled with energy and inspiration. And we have the energy of Ganesh with us to kind of move through any blocks, any fears, any anxieties, any worries. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Namaste. I hope to see you again very soon. But in the meantime, I hope you feel rested and energized for whatever is coming your way next. Namaste.